Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Gorses with another mobile OSRS adventure. It's a bit of a late upload today. I had a lot to do today, but today we'll be doing Vorkath. Vorkath is one of the more classic sort of mid-game moneymakers. You get access to Vorkath after completing Dragon Slayer 2. Dragon Slayer 2 is a very long, very thematic quest. I really did like Dragon Slayer 2. Rest in peace to those that died during that quest. If you know, you know. I won't spoil. But a lot gets changed after Dragon Slayer 2. We're going to be doing the melee method. I'll showcase a couple of range kills later on as well. Nothing major. This is just a shorter upload today. Just 2 kills of each type. Same thing, just like with Zulrah, bare bones. I don't bring nothing with me. But because it's Vorkath is usually a little bit slower to kill. So I do like to bring at least 1 prayer pot. The faster kills, I can kill Vorkath without running out of prayer, but sometimes you just don't get it that way. And that'll be apparent later on. I don't currently have a Dragon Hunter Lance, so I use a Fang. You can definitely kill Vorkath with less. You can kill Vorkath with, like, instead of Oath Plate. I'm using Oath Plate just because it's my best melee armor, but you can kill Vorkath with as low as Mixed Hide. In terms of weapons, you can kill Vorkath with much cheaper weapons as well. The Fang is like the second best, or the best, depending on your preferences. But like I said, I don't have a Dragon Hunter Lance currently, so the Fang is what I'm using. But you can kill Vorkath with as low as like a Dragon Sword. At one point during my Shadow rebuild, I even was killing Vorkath with a Bell's Folly, which I definitely don't recommend the Bell's Folly. You definitely want to beat him with at least like a Hasta or a Dragon Sword. I have the Slayer Staff for the quick change to use Crumble Undead on autocast. Vorkath has 2 specials. The one where he spawns the Undead spawn. You know, you have to hit it with Crumble Undead. I do like to pot up and then telly in after hitting the Narda statue. I forgot to do it, so I had to go a little back and forth. But as you see, I pre-pot with that, and I have extended super anti-fires. I could have brought a Dragonfire shield to mitigate more of the Dragonfire damage. Excuse me. But I brought the Defender instead for faster kill times. And now, Vorkath is pretty simple. You have to count always 6 attacks, which I'm doing here. You can spec with a multitude of weapons. I'm using Fang specs for this time. You could bring a defense-reducing special. You could bring any other special attack you like. Sometimes you can use Burning Claws. You can use Void Waker. There's a lot of options. I just use the Fang for the sake of the fact that I have it. I do also own a Dragon Warhammer, which I could have used, and I do plan on using it for the range kills. But the Fang special is perfectly fine on its own. Vorkath will attack you 6 times regularly between each special, and you'll see me sort of time it before I figure out where to step. And now I'm showcasing how to Wooks Walk with a Fang. You can see by my true tile, I'm simply counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This allows Vorkath to miss every single fireball on you, while you still keep up some of the DPS. Vorkath, in terms of the learning curve, he definitely was easier to learn in comparison to other bosses in his bracket, like Zulrah or Muspa. Because with Vorkath, it simply count to 6 and then deal with whichever special comes out. He always also rotates his specials, so you only have to guess the first special. It's a 50-50. After that, you know what you're going to deal with next. This particular kill was pretty slow. As you can see, I'm running out of prey points. I decided not to risk it, and I decided to just sit my prayer pot just in case. I'd rather just sip the one prey pot. It's worth, what, 2k, 2.5k per sip, not a big deal. And just like that, we are immediately up. Gotta love those green drops, right? The Dragon Bolt Unfinished, beautiful drop. Vorkath, unlike Zulrah, doesn't really have lottery drops. Vorkath is valuable because of his regular loot. He is always very, very, very profitable because all of his loot is just good. You know, sure, you can hit that lotto drop with, like, the Visages, you know, the Skeletal or the Draconic Visage. Those are beautiful to see. I got a Draconic Visage from him once. That was really fun because it was at the beginning of a trip. But it's never necessary to hit a lotto drop like it is with other bosses. Like, sure, Zulrah drops scales per kill, which makes her decent enough to cover, you know, supply costs. But if you're not getting uniques from Zulrah, you're not profiting as much, and she can earn you less in that way. Whereas with Vorkath, it's simply, if you get your kills, you're getting your money. Very simple. And I'm only using some scales for my Serpentine helmet because Vorkath can venom you. I'm using a sip of Super Combat, a sip of Prey Potion once in a while, and a sip of Extended Super Anti-Fire. You want to make sure you're using Extended Super Anti-Fires for these kills. All of his attacks, well, most of his attacks are based off of Dragon Fire damage. They can harm you. You have to be careful for these kinds of things. And yeah, that's it. You just count to 6, deal with special, count to 6, deal with special. Turn off your run, especially if you're mobile, you want to turn off your run. You don't get to control click like the PC players do. So I always turn off my my sprints before each attempt. I have these 2 tiles marked over here because these are the tiles I like to stand on while I wait for the specials to come out. Whenever Vorkath does this special, the Poison Splat, he'll always drop 1 Poison Splat where you are standing. So I like to stand on those 2 tiles specifically because when he leaves a single splat there, there's a good chance he won't leave a splat in the middle. And look at that, that's another beautiful green drop. Those dragon bolts, man, they really make you the money that you need to make when you're doing Vorkath. And it's not just those. You can get Dragon Arrow Tips, you can get Dragon Bones, Dragon Hides, tons and tons and tons of supplies. Tons of supplies. Just like that, 2 kills, 610k. When you're averaging anywhere, like, those are high to be fair. Like, the typical Vorkath kill is worth, I think, 150, 160, so I got particularly lucky on those kills. But if you kill Vorkath enough times, you're gonna see drops like that very, very, very often. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to showcase range kills. Range kills are very similar to melee kills. It's a little bit different in terms of a setup. I'm going to be using Void here. I don't have much better than that. I do have a Dragon Hunter crossbow. I don't make much changes. I do bring anti-venoms. I do bring... I do bring a spec weapon. I'm going to use the Dragon Warhammer for the spec this time around. You can use Tenal of Ralos. I know some people, they like to switch to the melee Void helmet so that they can use like a BGS or a Dragon Warhammer. Really, anything works. If I get particularly lucky, I'll be hitting those Dragon Bolt specs. The Dragon Ruby Bolts are very, very big here. Especially early on in the fight, if you hit like 1 or 2 really solid procs, you know, that's already a free 200 damage. 210 if you happen to have a Zarite crossbow, which I do not. Or 220, excuse me. Now, it's smart to bring a bolt switch. I don't have any other bolts. I did have some Sapphire bolts, but I don't want to use them. I personally don't care if the Ruby Bolt procs like under a particular threshold, because while it does reduce your DPS overall, I just didn't care to bring one. Like, you definitely should. There's no reason to take my word as gospel. I mean, I'm even using less than perfect for my offhand and for my ring. I only bring the antler guard because that's my current best offhand for range. I definitely recommend bringing either the Dragonfire Ward or a Twisted Buckler. They're on the more expensive side, but they're definitely worth it if you want to put in the money on them. On a cheaper side, you can even bring an Odium Ward. Odium Ward is perfectly fine. The thing about the range versus the melee build is that with the range build, you will take more damage. You have to be careful for that. Void is very, very squishy. So just pray against either range or mage, whichever one you just happen to have like less defense for. If you have a better setup though, if you have like a better offhand, a better ring, maybe a tankier ring if you want to use, you just make that decision as you see fit. I just decided to use the Antler Guard and the Ring of the Gods for the extra prayer bonus. This way I wouldn't have to worry about sipping on a prayer pot. So to start off this fight, it's the same as the melee fight. You want to pre-pot, you want to make sure you have everything on. I did make the mistake of not pre-potting this time, I believe. It was a bit of a faux pas on my end. But it's all the same. I'm still going to pray Piety in the beginning just so that I can try to make sure that I get the Dragon Warhammer spec off. If the Dragon Warhammer spec does hit, that is a good reduction to Vorkath's defenses. I believe it's about 30%, which does help with the kills overall. I should have done it for the melee method as well, but the Fang is just so busted that a defense reduction isn't entirely necessary. I also took some serious damage this time around as well, but like I say, fortune favors the brave, right? So we start off pretty well. We do take some damage, but we get off some very hard immediate hits, and you can see I'm averaging already 40s. With another bolt proc, it's already looking really good. At 42 health, I'm not super comfortable staying, if I'm being honest, and I should have brought some, like, sort of food, especially considering that I'm still taking more damage. But I am hitting, and I'm hitting hard, and that's good. Extra bolt procs too are always really nice, and as you can see, I just get really lucky with a couple of bolt procs back to back. At this point, when Vorkath does have lower health, it is smart to bring like diamond enchanted bolts instead. And now what you're seeing is the Wook's Walk with the crossbow. It's a little bit more convoluted. You have to step back and forth a couple times, then you can step forward, then immediately step back and start walking. I'm not the best at explaining this one. I definitely recommend, I believe it was 10 Boots guide on Vorkath. I really liked his guide on Vorkath. Also the Ed Boys, or Theed Boys. I actually don't remember if I say it right or wrong, but his guide on Vorkath is very, very good. Definitely watch the Ed Boys and definitely watch 10 Boot. They definitely know what they're talking about, in terms of guides. But as you can see, look at that, another beautiful green drop, 1 minute and 17 seconds. Like, faster than both of my melee attempts. A little bit riskier, as you saw, I did take a lot more damage. But the amount of output that you can do, especially if those bolt procs hit, it's absolutely unmatched. I think in the future I'll do an hour of for both methods. The same way that the Ed Boys had done before. It was very, very, very fun to watch. I did like watching those hour-long, like showcases of it. This time around, you can see I hit Vorkath 2 times with my Dragon Warhammer spec, which is huge, followed by an immediate Ruby Bolt proc. 2 Ruby Bolt procs back to back. This is exactly right there is a perfect showcase as to why the range method absolutely can thrash. It does cost more, it is more risky, but my lord, the amount of damage you can output with that method, it's absolutely unmatched. And I'm always favorable to melee to range. I'm always more favorable to melee. I love melee. I love being up close and personal. I love face tanking. I didn't even get my fire cape until I could do it like with strictly a Nox. I'm always into melee, but the range method for Vorkath, always super fun. And this Wook's Walk is, as annoying as it is to learn, it is so very like involved. I end up having a lot more fun with it, as opposed to the simple melee method of walking back and forth and counting to 3. At this point, I go against my own advice. I always say teleporting is better than dying. Never, ever, ever risk dying. Never risk dying. And as you can see, I'm getting extremely chanced here. And the whole time I'm telling myself, hey, teleport out, it's not worth it, teleport out. Get another hyper chance. And if I didn't get my prayer back up, I would have died. There would have been no point. But here we are. I got through it anyway. And next to no reward for it, as you can see, 80k, 85, 86k, something like this. Never, ever, ever do that. Never overextend. If you don't think you're going to make it, just teleport out. It's always better to teleport out than to use 100k to get your stuff back. So this is, I guess, technically my second guide now for a boss, which is kind of cool. Let me know if you guys want to see more, if you want me to do more. I'd always be down to do more guides and things like that. I didn't really yap too much off topic this time, which was kind of cool. But if you stayed to the end, I appreciate it so much. Please drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe, whatever. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. I'm sorry for the late upload, excuse me. Just the day got away from me. But thanks again. You have a wonderful night, guys. Thank you so much. Take care now. In the next video. Bye-bye.